What's up YouTube, Godzilla here. It is a very exciting day for Godzilla fans because at long last we finally have our first trailer for Godzilla vs. Kong, giving us our first real glimpse at the next film in the Monsterverse. Obviously, the release of the trailer has been long overdue, and with the release date for the film being moved up to March 26th, fans have gotten quite antsy waiting for the trailer. But it is finally here, and we finally get to see some new footage from Godzilla vs. Kong. Now there's a lot to unpack here, but I want to dive in with first impressions of the direction that the story seems to be taking. Now at the beginning of the trailer, we see sort of the classic image of Kong chained up on an aircraft carrier. I get the impression that Monarch is taking him from Skull Island and bringing him to do battle with Godzilla. Kong is obviously being painted as the hero in this film. We hear in the trailer a voiceover of someone saying, you know, that the world needs Kong. So he's really being set up as the hero. The other interesting thing that we see here is the sort of presence of a young girl who has some sort of communicative link with Kong that's established in the trailer. We hear that she's the only one who can communicate with Kong, and we get that epic shot of Kong, you know, reaching down with his finger and touching her, you know, tiny little human finger. And so that's an interesting direction to see included. This is what I thought they were going to do with the Millie Bobby Brown character in King of the Monsters, but almost like seems like they're moving in sort of a Mickey Segusa sort of a direction. I don't know if the little girl character is actually going to be psychic or not, but they say she can communicate with him, and there's obviously a link between Kong and this character. Now, obviously, on the flip side of establishing Kong as the hero for this film, the trailer paints Godzilla as more of an antagonistic figure, which is a contrast to what we've seen from Godzilla in the Monsterverse so far. Both Godzilla 2014 and Godzilla King of the Monsters really pushed Godzilla into the sort of hero direction as sort of a guardian of the Earth. This movie flips that. We hear from Kyle Chandler's character, who's returning from King of the Monsters, that Godzilla is killing people and we don't know why. And then we get this shot with Millie Bobby Brown's character where she says, you know, Godzilla's being provoked. And it's interesting because it almost seems like she might be sort of setting off on her own, separate from Monarch. Because we see a shot of her in a van with all this like sort of, I guess, weather equipment on it. It says Storm Track on the side of the van, but we get the impression that they are sort of following Godzilla's movements and trying to figure out what's going on with Godzilla. Because yeah, we hear, you know, Godzilla's killing people. We see Godzilla destroying things in ways that we haven't in the Monsterverse so far. We see him going up against aircraft carrier, whereas in the 2014 film we see Godzilla just swim right by aircraft carriers. It's a pretty sharp contrast for Godzilla, a change in character arc. And I think there's going to be some speculation over why this is happening. We've already seen some sort of rumors and speculation. Obviously the main thing that people are talking about is Mechagodzilla, and the possibility that the Godzilla we're seeing in the trailer is not Godzilla, but rather Mechagodzilla in disguise, similar to what we see in the 1974 original Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. So that's one possibility, is that this isn't really Godzilla, it's Mechagodzilla. We did see earlier a leak of some toys from the film that does seem to conclude that Mechagodzilla is in this film. And we get a shot, it's in the background in the trailer, but if you look carefully, there's a shot of like a control room, and we see what looks like a diagram of Mechagodzilla, and it says something like charging up. So it does seem that there's a lot of evidence that there's going to be Mechagodzilla in this film, so it would be kind of plausible to say that, you know, Godzilla's not really the antagonist, Mechagodzilla is. But I think the other thing to touch on is at the same time that we saw the Mechagodzilla toy leak, there was another toy in that same image that I believe is referred to as Mega Godzilla, and what that appears to be is the regular Godzilla with some sort of mechanical device fitted over his spines. So there's always the possibility that Godzilla is being controlled in this film or used by some sort of organization. We've obviously seen that in a lot of Godzilla movies in the past where mind control is used with different kaiju, and so there's always the possibility that Godzilla is being used to carry out destructive acts that maybe he otherwise wouldn't. So that's a possibility as well. Another takeaway from the trailer is we hear from what I believe is a new Monarch character talking about, how the myths are true and that there was a war, and it's implied that Godzilla and Kong were the last ones standing. So it sort of paints a long-standing rivalry that is perhaps being reignited with Godzilla and Kong coming to meet each other and do battle once again. So that gives us some maybe background into why these two monsters are fighting. Now, another thing I want to get into here, obviously the tagline of the film has been known for a while, but the tagline is "One will fall," and we do see that in the trailer towards the end as we get close to the title screen. And what the filmmakers have said is that, yeah, this will be a decisive battle, there will be a winner and there will be a loser. And the "one will fall" tagline obviously is talking about, yeah, one of them is going to be losing this fight. I know a lot of times when we have these sort of crossovers, it feels like a little bit of a cop-out because, they can never have anybody be a true loser. Usually, a lot of fans are expecting that Godzilla and Kong will wind up teaming up regardless and fighting a common enemy. We'll see if that plays out. But I do think that they could potentially be setting up for the end of Godzilla in the Monsterverse. We don't know at this point if Legendary is going to retain the rights to keep making Godzilla films after this one. I'm not sure if the Monsterverse films have been, successful enough to warrant that from Legendary and Warner Bros. End. We'll see what happens with Godzilla vs. Kong, obviously, but it's possible that, Godzilla is going to get killed off in this because they're losing the rights to that character anyways, so it doesn't make sense to have Godzilla, defeat Kong and then not be able to make Kong movies or Godzilla movies. If they do have Kong emerge victorious in this film, then they can continue on with Kong in the Monsterverse. So we're possibly headed in that direction. Only time will tell. Alright, lastly here, guys, I just want to talk about my actual reaction to the trailer and my impressions of what the footage that we get to see here. I'm definitely really impressed by the monster action that I've seen in the trailer here. I feel like in terms of CGI, choreography, and cinematography, just from what we see, which is obviously very little, but the fights here look so much more satisfying than what we got in King of the Monsters. I was pretty let down by a lot of the battles in that film, but it seems like they're maybe rectifying some of those mistakes with this film. There's definitely a lot of really exciting sequences in this trailer. The aircraft carrier sequence where we see Godzilla kind of swim up and Kong's like looking into the water waiting, and he just emerges from the water and climbs up on there. Looks super great. We've seen that, obviously the punch sequence where Kong is punching Godzilla, and we get a few more of those types of things in the trailer, and you really just feel the weight and the magnitude of the kaiju action here. It looks really great. And we also get to see a little glimpse of the Warbat kaiju. Obviously we've seen the toy of that for a while now, so fans are aware of this creature, but we haven't really known much about it. We do get to see Kong fighting actually two of them, and he's swinging one of them into the other. Super epic shot there. And then of course there's the whole battle axe sequence, which kind of is how the trailer concludes, because we just get this amazing shot. A really interesting skyline in Hong Kong with the neon lights. It's going to be a really spectacular sort of arena for this battle, I think, if that's where the final battle plays out. But it looks really cool in the trailers. But we see, Kong rushing at Godzilla and jumping up, and he's got an axe, crafted from the spine of Godzilla, maybe like a Godzilla fossil, and Godzilla's breathing his thermonuclear heat ray at Kong, and Kong just like slams the axe down onto him and it cuts out. Looks super epic. I'm really pumped for just to see this showdown between Godzilla and Kong. I think it's going to be really fantastic, so the trailer's got me pumped. Alright guys, I would love to hear from you what you thought about the trailer. Are you excited for this movie? What sort of speculations do you have about the story based on what we've seen in the trailer? I'd love to hear all of your thoughts on this, so please go ahead and take to the comments and let me know. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to see more content like this in the future, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time.